Everybody, sorry, scratch that. Almost everybody wants to own a shortlet apartment in Lagos today. I mean, it's almost like everybody wants to do the shortlet business. It's like the rave of the moment, like shortlet. And in this video, I'm going to be telling you, I'm going to be answering that question. Can you really make money running a shortlet business in Lagos, in Abuja, or anywhere? Stay tuned. You do not want to miss this. Cecilia Makwe says, what if your application for CFO is not successful? All right, let's go to the next question. How safe is Ekpe? That is the question I'm going to be answering on this episode of the Ask a Realtor Show. Please like this video, share, and do not forget to subscribe. All right, guys, welcome back to the Ask a Realtor Show. My name is Olisa, and this is the Ask a Realtor Show where I answer all your real estate related questions and help you make safe and profitable real estate investments. If you're watching my video for the first time, please do well to tap on the subscribe button so that you become part of this big family. And when you do that, do not also forget to tap on the notification bell close to the subscribe button so that whenever I post new videos, you'll be the first to know. All right, guys, let's look at this question. Can you really make money running a shortlet apartment? You know, if I was to answer the question, easily, I would say yes. But there are lots of things to consider. So my answer to that question can also be no. But I have a few points that I jotted down for you, and I'm going to go through them one after the other. Now, your goal for putting your apartment on the shortlet market is to make money. Not just to make money, but to make more than you would have made, if you were to put it on the rental market, on the local rental market, right? The residential rental market. Now, when you put your apartment on the residential rental market, I mean, your rent per year can give you a yield of maybe 5% average. Some rents don't perform as much as that. Some perform a bit higher than that, 6% yield, right? But on the shortlet market, your yield, you can make yields of as high as 18, 20% or more. But the risks to putting your apartment on the shortlet market are vacancy, right? If you have a high vacancy rate, then you won't make as much money as you plan to make. And the second one is operating risks. So your operating cost, right? So if you spend so much on overhead, if you spend so much on your running costs operating the property, then even if you're getting people to use your property, your operating cost can be removing all, that profit. So you need to know how to price right. You need to know how to control your operating costs so that you can actually make money from your property if it's on the shortlet market. Now, the first thing I want to say if you want to make money from the shortlet market is to know your numbers. So before putting your property on the shortlet market, before getting into the shortlet market, you need to know your numbers. Okay, how much would it cost to put this property on the market? That's the cost of the property itself and the cost to furnish the property, the cost to get everything set up, right? How much would it cost to run the property? Cost of diesel, cost of electricity, cost of Netflix per month, internet, costs of cleaning. You probably have to hire a cleaner, right, to clean the apartment. Cost of managing, cost of marketing. You have to have everything. Probably put it on a spreadsheet. See how the cost will be. And you have to be realistic, right? So that you know that this is how much I might spend every week, every month on this apartment. This is how much I can make. You should also be able to know how to price your apartment. I mean, people just put different prices because other people are putting them, right? When you price your apartment, you would even know if your apartment, if your apartment measures up with the price of the market within, the area you are playing. Because when you're pricing, you have to check what are all these operating costs, divide them by 30 days, you know, and all that, and then get your price. I'm not going to discuss pricing here, but yes, you have to check your pricing right. You have to run your numbers. Now, the second factor is that you have to run it as a business. You see, I've seen people who put their apartment on the shortlet market and then they run it as a side, right? They run it as, you know, a side hustle, which is okay. But you can also run a side hustle as a business. When I say run it as a business, it's not enough to have one apartment on the shortlet market, because what would happen is that costs will eat up your profits. For instance, if you're running it as a, if you're running just one apartment, the first thing you will see is that your marketing costs will be eating your profit. So you want to run ads, you want to probably get, you know, spend money on marketing, you want to do professional videos for your apartment, and you find out that when you run ads and do all these things, the only thing you have to offer is one apartment. So if you spend 200,000 naira on marketing in a month, it means that you have spent 200,000 naira on marketing for one apartment. So you're limited, right? I mean, I put some points here. Now, imagine if you had 10 apartments. When you spend 200,000 naira for marketing and they visit your page on Instagram or your website, what happens is that they see multiple apartments that they can take, right? Some people will follow you not because they want to book your apartment at that time, but whenever they want to book apartments, what happens is that there are apartments for them to book. So you are spending money on building your audience, right? That's the first one. Second thing is your other costs, right? You have costs for Netflix, DSTV, internet, and all that. If you had multiple apartments in a building, right, you could spread this cost. You could, I mean, instead of having one Netflix for one apartment, you can have Netflix, the same Netflix account for multiple apartments. DSTV, the same thing. Internet, the same thing. But if you had just one apartment, you're spending everything on that one apartment. So what you should do is run it as a business, right? Have multiple apartments, probably in one building, or multiple apartments in multiple buildings, so that you can spread your costs over, you know, multiple apartments, which then helps you, you know, increase profitability. Another thing you want to consider is that you have to be ready to market your apartments. The shortlet market in Lagos especially is really competitive. I mean, you have other shortlet owners to contend with, you have agents to contend with, and these agents have multiple properties on their platform. So you either want to run it as a business, you know, like I said before, or you want to give it to someone who will put it among their own portfolio of properties and then pay you returns. You know, whatever way whatever way you choose, you have to really market. Two ways to market is by yourself, you know, and then using agents, you know, or you can do a mixture of both. When you do a mixture of both, it's that the agents give you, you know, bookings, or you get bookings by yourself. And then one more thing is that you have to control the services, right? If you buy an apartment in an estate, right, and you're running the shortlet business, but you pay a service charge, what it does, first of all, is that it increases your cost per year, because you have to pay that service charge every year. And then it also increases your cost of power, because you will find out that if you are running your apartment, let's say you are running 6 apartments in one building, right? If one apartment is booked and the other 5 are not booked, what happens is that, you know, cost of electricity is on that one apartment. But if you are running, and so basically you can control your costs of electricity, say per kilowatt, right? But if you own an apartment in a block of apartments, and then like in an estate or a mini estate, and then someone is controlling the cost of electricity, what happens is that they determine cost per kilowatt. And this is Nigeria, where electricity is not stable, right? So most times you are using diesel, right? Especially if you want 24 hours electricity. And yes, of course, what else should you give if not 24 hours electricity, you know, when running a shortlet apartment? So you find out that instead of paying maybe 300 kilowatts per hour, you are 300 naira per kilowatt, right? You are paying like say 400 naira, 450 naira, 500 naira because you don't control the service. So you want to control the service. You want to be the one, giving power. You want to be the one giving water. You want to be the one giving all the services, security, all that, right? So that you don't pay a service charge. So self-serviced apartments are better for shortlet apartments. Now, another thing is that you have to be prepared for anything, right? When running your numbers, you have to be prepared for contingencies, right? So after like the second year, right, you might be ready to renovate part of your properties, refurnish your apartment. Ensure that your apartment is always top-notch, always clean, because like I said before, the market is really competitive, right? So you don't want to spend money on marketing and people come to your apartment, but because it doesn't look as good as other people's apartments, they can't take it, right? So I'll do a recap. Number one, run your numbers correctly and run it realistically so that you don't put smaller numbers and then find out that you're spending more. Something as simple as power can cost 30, 35, 40% of your daily booking rate, right? By the time you calculate salaries and all other things into it, you find out that, probably 50, 60%, if not 70% of the entire revenue that you collected has been eroded, right? Second thing is that you want to run it as a business. You don't want to run it alone, just have one apartment there or one, two somewhere. Run it as a business or give it to someone who will run it as a business. Another thing is that you need to market the hell out of your apartment because it's a competitive market, right? And you have to prepare for anything. One bonus point, I don't know if I mentioned it throughout the video, but you have to stand out. Your property has to be excellent. You don't want to do an average furnishing, right? And then compete with people who spent a lot of money furnishing the apartment, and then the both of you are charging the same thing, right? So with these points, I believe you should be able to answer the question yourself. Can I make money running a shortlet apartment in Lagos, right? Yes, so guys, that is it for today's episode. If this is the first time you are watching my channel, please do also tap on the subscribe button. And when you do that, do not forget to also tap on the notification bell so that whenever I post new videos, you'll be the first to know. All right, guys, on the next episode, I am going to answer the question, can I rent an apartment for shortlets? Can I rent an apartment for shortlet business? You do not want to miss the next video. If you've not subscribed, do that already and also tap on the notification bell. All right, guys, I will see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.